Yang here, founder of UniMaker and WorldMaker Group. I'll let him talk a little bit more about what he's been doing, and we'll get the show started.
My name is Yang, and I'm sorry to be late today. Thanks to the unstoppable traffic jam of Shenzhen. Now I'm going to talk about 3D printing. So any of you have this experience of being using a 3D printer before? Okay. Yes. One third. Okay. And by the way, this is a group actually came from our place, and they are from University of Texas, Austin, and they're doing internship in the company, and they all use 3D printers a lot. So yeah, ask them if you don't know anything about 3D. By the way, that's by the way. So 3D printing, what do you think about 3D printer? So any of you are electronic engineers? Yeah? Raise your hand. Yeah? Okay. So one of the things, 3D printing is not, from my point of view, is not a revolutionary technology. It's just a tool. It's a tool like a power tool. You can use it whenever you need it, but when you don't, you just leave it alone and until the next time you use it. Yeah, that's from my point of view about 3D printing. Now I'm going to talk about my experience, and I'm going to share more about how I see 3D printing changes the way I'm working and changes the way of people think of innovation. There we go. So yeah, this is a little bit about me. I've been dealing with 3D printing like since 2011. After I graduated from master degree. But before that, I was an industrial designer in university. So I did a lot of prototyping when doing my projects. So a lot of the modeling involved like polishing and sanding and shaping the form of like a foam, a wood, a metal, a plastic. So all of these take a lot of time actually doing that. Until a day I see a 3D printer, it magically just making a thing happening from nowhere. So I was really getting into it for 3D printing. So I think that was 2009. I was still in the university, but after that I went to like a master degree for doing mechanical engineering, because I thought design is just a bunch of people just talking about design, not really doing anything. So I went to mechanical engineering in the master degree. In there, I got involved with projects actually doing medical instrument. So the medical instrument actually using 3D printers, making the prototype of that, then improved it a little bit, and got my master's degree finalized eventually. So I thought maybe this is a business out there. So that was like in 2010. So at the time, open source 3D printers are really hot up because of the open source community of 3D printers. I don't know if you know that. Then I come back to Shenzhen, found multiple suppliers of different things for doing my 3D printer research and assembly. Then I found out most of the people have never heard about 3D printing. Even in these like high-tech exhibitions, they never heard of a 3D printer. So I thought this is a very good opportunity. But if I see me back then, I'm gonna see there's no market actually, no market need back then. So I probably won't going into 3D printing if I got experience like I do now. So yeah, this is kind of the role I've been I've been involved in 3D printing, spent bumpy road. And yeah, here we go. In 2014, I thought 3D printing should be like a technology that everyone gets involved with. So I started this like 3D printing tour in the schools and the colleges. Kids are really interested in 3D printers, because basically because they are moving, they're moving and they're making toys and models. So the reason behind it is because I went to China space and people are really encouraging like doing 3D printing education. And when I go to one school back then, I thought, well, yeah, the students are really interested in 3D printing, and most of the students, like, they are the future of the, young entrepreneurs and technicians and the designers, all this kind of stuff. So maybe from the education perspective view, this is the best way actually doing 3D printing education. It starts from colleges and the schools. Yeah. So I went to like 18 different schools in Shenzhen to give them a very brief introduction on what is 3D printing. So I start with 3D printing education to you as to the kids. So STEM labs is the things you learn from school and colleges. Yeah. 3D printing is that you make a 3D modeling into the things you can touch, you can see, basically 3D model. Let me see. This is the very first lesson I'm going to teach for kids and for people who don't understand about 3D printing. I can tell you that 3D printing is from like. Okay, before that, I'm going to ask you who's had this experience of being using 3D modeling software. Yeah, I can see about half of you. Yeah, 3D modeling is, making a 3D model in the software. After that, you can import the 3D modeling into a specific designed 3D printing software, and you can slice the model, 3D model. You can see that it's 3D model. So the software is going to slice the model into layers. So each layer you can take out like this. So the algorithm is going to writing a map of how the machine or how the tool head is going to see through or work through all this kind of layers. So each layer you can see is a piece of paper. How do you draw your model onto this piece of paper? It's like machine hand working around it, doing that. So all the layers add up. Eventually, it builds up the whole 3D model. That's the basic theory of how a 3D printer works. It's basically a machine that reads your code, and the code is actually came from the 3D model you build up. And the 3D model is actually from the mind you have and from the idea you have to build up in the 3D software. So the most important of 3D printing is actually you. So you are the person who's controlling this like a 3D model of you are doing. Then the 3D modeling gets sliced into like a code machine can read. Then the machine will read your code into the whole bunch of new 3D models. That's the 3D printing works. Yeah, basically you can see that's the platform, and the nozzle is actually extruding basically plastics onto the platform. So it's basically layer strings of plastic into layers. 1, 2, 3 layers here. So the next layer is the layer upon another. Then eventually it builds up the whole model. And yeah, it's got a computer which is controlled the 3D modeling, and the whole structure of the 3D printer got various different shapes. which I'm going to show you later on. Yeah, this is like a 4 basic shapes of 3D printers. The first one is like a caging shape, which is very stable, as you can see, and it prints very steady, and but it takes too much space for the whole board. The other one is like it's like a kind of a Nordic shape, and you just got X, Y, Z axis of this whole thing, and it's actually from printer board. Maybe you can check on the video or something. The other one is like a Prusa, which is very popular back in open source days. It's a Prusa i3, the third version of Prusa, and it goes like X, Y, and this way. And finally, it's the delta shape. Delta shape 3D printer is very beautiful. When you see it's walking, it's got one upstairs in the Open Innovation Hub if you want to see it. And when it works, it works beautifully because this 3 axis controls the motor underneath here is controlling the 3 axes going up and down only. Then the up and down controls the arm going horizontally and vertically. So basically the calculation of this, the movement of the machine is done by the calculation of the triangles, if you can imagine that. So this one moves down, this one moves this way, and vice versa. And this is like a very typical 3D printers that you can buy or you can see on the market. By the way, when I'm talking about the 3D printers, I'm talking about the open source 3D printers. I'm not talking about the professional grade 3D printers that cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So this one is the machines that you can buy on the market from like 1,000 or 2,000 RMB to up to like 10,000 RMB. Yeah, this is like open source 3D printer that you can buy very cheaply. Basically, it's got all the components you can buy from a box. So open up. You can assemble your own 3D printer from it. We've done some tests, and a person who don't know about 3D printing at all, he can assemble this one under 40 minutes. So this very quick assembly process for this kind of a 3D printer. I remember the very first 3D printer I assembled. It took me about 1.5 months, I think. Yeah, that's I think that's Riprap Mendo, yeah. It's very complicated machine. And this one is very well designed and it's very well printed. So everything is very good. How big is that thing? This one. The printing size is 14 millimeters by 14 millimeters by 14 millimeters. So you can print pretty much. Centimeters. Sorry. Yeah, centimeters. Sorry.
So he makes that. And I'm selling them for $1,000.
So I'm going to take any questions if you want. Anyone? Yeah.
Just present full-time old printers, right?
Yeah.
That you said it's primarily for, say, for commercial use, and are they available, say, are they available for consumers, like us, to find, say, a market like, for example, Washington, they want more? Or compared to the price that you mentioned for professional use, it might cost up to, say, $3,000 or $4,000 compared to those ones are available, in the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just really depends on the method of 3D printing. This one is called fuse deposition method, and it's fusing plastic into very small strips, then layered down on the platform. The other way is using resin, which is kind of liquid and using projector or laser to cure the resin underneath. So each layer of the resin cured into solid, then move up a little bit, then cure another. So eventually you're gonna like this way up. The model is formed upside down of the platform. So this one is called the resin 3D printers. The other one is like a laser sintering. It's like you have a very large powder base of plastic. Then using a laser up there, hanging up there, using the laser actually melting this kind of a plastic powder. Then again, layer by layer, eventually you've got this kind of model embedded in the powder of plastic. So you take it out, air blast it, then you got your final model. That's called like a laser sintering. Again, you can use a metal powder instead of plastic, but metal powder, you're gonna use a lot more power from the laser, and then you have go through like a very restricted environment conditions, like using vacuum in the chamber, or like added some special air into the chamber and heat it up, because metal is very easy to be bended when it's melted. So this major 3D printing method is like this four kind of different methods. And what I'm talking about here is the very basic and vastly available for mass market. The other kind of things is not that easy to use. I'd say.
So if I say, my channel or stories, that I say, I'll tell store owner, say, I want this type of a 3D printer.
Yeah.
The things that happen, like store owner had no idea what I'm talking about. In case that you're saying you're trying to describe what makes them different is very much depends on how the printing process is complete. Is that what you're trying to say? For example, I go to say, I want that one. The store owner said, no, we don't have that type of printer. Probably with, I don't know, some sort of new technology for them, or it's simply not available.
It depends on who you're asking. Really.
What's that?
It really depends on who you're asking from autonomy. So not everyone knows about 3D printers, you know.
Okay, I think I get it.
But 3D printer is like 3D printing, or it's very specialized kind of technology. Not everyone is actually interested, but it's quite popular for hackers or makers or designers, because you can make your 3D modeling into the real thing very quickly. That's my point of using a 3D printer. It's not a hobby that you can play with, but you definitely can use it as a hobby, but eventually you can use it as a tool to build up your things and projects. I'm going to show you a video. Someone might have seen it before.
This is Zim, our 3D printer. We dreamt about making the best personal 3D printer in the world. It has to be plug and play and really easy to use. We also wanted Zim to be connected, very precise and really fast. All that enclosed in a beautiful design and affordable.
I've been working in high-tech for the past 20 years and with 3D printing for the past 4 years. To make Zim, we decided to use two heads. That way, you can print in multiple colors or print support structures in PVA which dissolve in water.
We have developed a cartridge system that allows you to load and remove the filament in a simple way. And if you want to use your own filaments, we also offer reloadable cartridges. With our cartridge, PVA support material in particular is protected from moisture, and storage is safe and easy.
Insert the cartridge, turn them on, and you're ready to start printing. That's it.
3D printing can take a while, even with a fast printer like Zim. That's why we included a micro camera in our design. You don't have to stand in front of the printer because you can check and control your print from anywhere.
Zim is so simple to install that it requires no driver. You just log on to your PC, Mac, smartphone or tablet, and you're ready to control every step of the printing process.
A big challenge was to fit all the different requirements under one roof. On one hand, a 3D printer is a high-tech machine with high precision standards. On the other hand, it should be easy to use, good looking, affordable and safe. Using a super stable aluminum profile for the housing allows us to make the printer as small as possible. The open C-shaped structure presents the printing process like a show on a stage. The smooth, elegant design fits perfectly everywhere in your home or office.
We've built a great team of motivated and talented designers and engineers. All together, we created Zim.
We've been working very hard on developing Zim, and we're really happy to share it with you today. Our production partners are ready. Now, we need you. We need to collect enough funds to start our first production batch. With your support, you will receive one of the very first Zim at a very special Kickstarter price. We look forward to your support. Thanks for your time.
And this is a perfect example of how a 3D printer should look like and work like. Yeah. After this Kickstarter campaign, to collect about $43,000 in the US, and they moved into the production into China, and the idea was like to make all the components here and ship back to the US, then assemble it in the US, like make a body, and sell it in the US. Eventually, they have a mark of made in the USA on the machine. That's the idea. So after Kickstarter, they have a series funding of $5 million. Then disbanded within a year. Now it's nowhere you can see it. And maybe you can see it in the tech shop in the US, if they have like about 2 or 3 printers back. One of the things is that Zim is a very good design. It's a very good design 3D printer, and the concept until now is still very advanced. I mean, you can use this mobile app, actually download the 3D modeling and upload it into the 3D printer, then print whatever you like. And you can, have a social chat with your friends to see what your print is. And it got a webcam that you can actually monitor the things you are printing. And it has 2 models that can print multiple colors or supporting material. So all this concept is very, very good. But eventually, all these features added up with problems on the way of manufacture. At the beginning of 2014, they started, the team of the Zipro actually came into China and trying to make their 3D printer workable, then put it into production. And I've been involved in it about 10 months or 9 months of now. At the beginning, I thought, wow, this is the future of 3D printing. You know, these guys are really making history because some of them are like from prestigious investors, and some of them are actually coming from Apple. Eventually, when the projects fully pass, because the manufacturing process takes too long and way too complicated. That's simply because the design team is not really capable of mass production processing in China. They don't know the language of the factory workers are talking, and they don't know how to put their very good design into engineering process, then into production. Yeah, this is a lesson they learned and the lesson I learned. Say, 3D printing is not that easy. It's not something that it looks like. It takes a lot of effort to build up from electronics, coding, mechanical engineering, and finally assembly. So everything you have to build up perfectly to make up your final, printer. So, yeah, what I'm going to show you now is that after the 0 years, what we did in 3D printing. This is about us. Last couple of years we have been developing our own 3D printers based on our experience. This is like a customable 3D printers that you can buy in the market from Taobao or from the website. So this is like based on UniMaker structure, and we altered the extruder to our own design. So we have 6 different printable size of 3D printers. Each one of them you can modify with your own casing design, put into your own brand. We call it the ODM method of making 3D printers, so that you can make your 3D printing brand very quickly. All the core elements like a printer head, extruder, and motherboard is all from us. Yeah, this is advertising part. Yeah. The other thing is that 3D printing can really change something. Can really change from medical point of view, and can really change from environmental point of view. Because everything you can see is plastic. Yeah. And to recycle this kind of plastic, it takes years. But 3D printing material, it takes about 6 months to 1 year to like biodegradable. This biodegradable plastic. So you can put it into the rubbish bin, and maybe after a couple of months it just disappears. Yeah. The other way making it to something you can use is that we designed this one. It's like a plant pot. So the idea is that you can use it into like the place that is very difficult to grow plants or vegetables. So this is like a 3D printed pot that you put a little bit of water in it. So when the temperature rises up in the morning, the water heat is actually coming from here, go into the soil of the base of the plant. So in this way of cycle, it takes about 1 week. Maybe after a week, you can add a little bit more water into it. But after like 1 or 2 months, this pot is going to disappear, and it into like fertilizers for this vegetable. So the vegetable can grow up very quickly within these 2 months. And everyone knows that vegetables or plants are very difficult to grow in like a desert area. So this one can be designed specifically for the desert area, a suburb of the desert area for growing up vegetables or plants. Yeah, this is some basic design of these ones. And the other one is that I take a model from here. This one is like a human spine, the model of a human spine. So this model is actually from the real data of a hospital from Guangzhou. And the point is, the surgeon wants to see the actual model of a CT scanned person and make it into a 3D printed model. So they can see when they have an operation of somewhere, they can see clearly how they can do it before the operation actually goes on. So they can save a lot of time as they're thinking about when they're doing the operation. Yeah, this is a perfect example of how 3D printer can help people making their own technology. Technology can making the people of life better. Yeah, the other thing is about 3D printing is that 3D printing is basically, like I said, is a tool that you can use. A designer, electronic engineer, mechanical engineer, or anyone who's interested can use it. And the thing that I find out in Shenzhen, most people using 3D printers are actually electronic engineers. I don't know why, but I think it's because they're making the casing for the electronic board a lot. Yeah. So, yeah, that's something we like using 3D printer before. Actually, before these things go into production, this is like a robotic arm that pick up things for like a very heavy goods. For some of the core components, we print it into a big box and make it into the prototypes, then make it into production finally. Okay, before I finish, I'm going to introduce what I'm doing now. The new venture I'm having now is called UniMaker Group, and let's see, this is my picture like 5 years ago. I studied in the UK and for industrial design and mechanical engineering, and then come back to Shenzhen. Founded the UniMaker, which is 3D printing oriented makerspace. People can come to us actually making the 3D printing related projects. From June last year, we formed a new group called UniMaker Group, and all the companies of these three is actually founded 5 or 6 years ago, and we have founded in like 3.5 years ago. So last year we had a joint venture for all these 4 companies. We're making different things to join together. Okay, just one way. Sorry about Chinese. Some of the teams are doing industrial design, and some of the other teams are doing electronic solutions. Then there's another team doing mechanical engineering and pre-production evaluation. Yeah, this is a working place that our interns can tell you a lot about. Okay, something you don't want to read. That's the universities and the working place. Yeah, just like Fab Labs, CETA, and Runway, Taspa Global. That's our partnership. Okay. Yeah, industrial design. Why we have industrial design in our team? Because industrial design we see that's very front end of like customers or clients to having their products to be produced or to be realized. So industrial design nowadays they design a lot of like wearables or IoT device. Some of them are like it's very traditional furniture. but pretty much in Shenzhen, all these industrial design houses actually involve the electronic stuff. Yes, 3D printing. 3D printing is always come with industrial design and electronic design, because they always need something very quickly and not very expensive. Okay, just 3D printers. Electronic solutions. You know, when you have this kind of electronic solution for certain products, it takes like weeks, months to be developed. And once a new solution to be developed, they need a lot of testing. So in the way of doing that, 3D printing can help a lot for producing different shape of casing or whole thing for the electronic board. Yeah, that's the way where 3D printing is coming on. Yeah, some of the products will be made. You know the tile? This one? So like a GPS tracker. And they are produced in China here. And when they are doing mass production, that's a very good. That's a problem. Is it good to use?
Yes, it's very good.
So when they like doing the ultrasonic beta to run two pieces together, they have this kind of leakage when they're doing that process. So after 3 or 4 weeks, they still haven't solved this kind of problem in the factory. So they called our engineers, and then they actually solved it overnight. It's just like an experience problem for them. Yeah, this is the one I just introduced. It's a robotic arm for heavy good lifting, because like young people like us, there's no interest of doing this like a very bricklayer work of that in the factory. So all the worker ladies are over 40 years old in the factories, like fertilizer and paper and rice packaging. So they need a lot of robotics actually doing the work, heavily loaded work for them. Yeah, so mechanical engineering is another one we are specialized on. This kind of thing doesn't come easily, because all this kind of mechanical device, it takes like weeks, months to be developed because of the complexity of the whole thing. So that is a candle holder. And the whole thing, when we first came up, like 4 years ago, there's another team actually within the company. They developed that for, I think it's over 15 months, for just developing that case for Amazon Kindle. So it's very complex. The other one is like a motorcycle petrol tank. It's for like enthusiasts and the racers for the motorbike. But they want to increase the tank volume and without increase any size of the whole petrol tank. So we've been developing that for almost 2 years to get into the 15 liters of petrol into 25 liters of petrol eventually.
Is that 3D printed?
No. It's called rotor. Sorry.
Rotor mold.
Yeah, rotor molding. So when you see the popcorn, it's like a very traditional Chinese one. You just rotate it, and heat it up in a vacuum chamber. Then you open up, the air comes in, the popcorn pops up. It's very similar process for the plastic of that one, called rotor mold. The other one is like design for manufacturing. If you want to evaluate your design suitable for manufacturing process, the very quickest way, of course, apart from the engineering experience, is by just using the actual prototype you have designed. Yeah, 3D printer is very useful for this kind of process. Yeah, there's a medical bag can basically rotate for any shape the human body can be positioned. And yeah, it's been developed for over 3 years and still in the stage of testing. The other one is like a toilet flush without touchless toilet flush. Yeah, this kind of a very early stage of developing, they all use 3D printed method. Yeah, just like project management. Those things you are interested in. Yeah, there's another one. Perfect example. Disrupt Surfing is a startup in Australia. The idea was that using the online ordering system to create customizable surfing board. So every surfing board they made is specifically designed for you by your weight, your body shape, and your hobbies, and your preferred layout of the pattern on the board. So each one of them is being individually made. Their idea firstly is to use 3D printers, but no one is going to use making that large 3D printer for them. And eventually they're using the traditional method of like CNC machining for the board. And but the problem is that Chinese manufacturers don't take individual orders for this kind of products. So it's very difficult for them actually to find a supplier actually doing that one by one. Eventually they found one, and yeah, we got involved in this kind of process of dealing with the factory. So they talked about over 3 months to finalize the whole manufacturing process, how to bring their order into the production process. Yeah, this kind of things that for startup to think of. You have very good idea, but making it to manufacture, made it to a product, it takes a long way. Actually do that, especially in China. Don't think China is like a full manufacturer you can just easily find. It's not that easy. Okay, it's like the products we've been developed, like over 32% is like IoT, Internet of Things products, and over 45% is like wearable, and over 16 like mobile phone related products. The other ones like industrial, medical device, and research. Our client, like 50% actually came from China. The most of chunk of people actually came, teams or companies that came from America and Europe. There's a very strange order from Brazil, I think. They're trying to create a concrete surface for a road that they want to make a wood pattern. So they build up a very huge drum, the rolling drum. Actually, the surface of that is a wood texture. So they make that in China, and they only make one. Yeah, that's very strict order we've been taking. Okay, reports. Okay, thanks very much. And no, it's not really related to 3D printing, but hopefully I gave you some like my personal experience of 3D printing. Thank you.